Annette.
Hi, Johnny.
How are you?
I'm good.
Good. We are
I'm more relaxed now.
good.
Yeah.
Relaxed is good. So we're here at the Conduit Gallery at your show, Indeterminate Conversations.
And your show, Hyper Black
Yes,
Spectacle.
and my show, which feels like an overwhelming honor for me to be sharing space with you, and being able to come and see your work in person has been a treasure, to say the least.
Thank you.
And I think what I first thought of when I walked in the space and saw you hanging your work, and then seeing the rest of the work kind of either hung or in progress, was just how much work is in this space. Not only just like individual pieces, but as an artist, I can look at all of this work and say, wow, this is a lot of time. This is a lot of intention in the space. And I'm wondering how that feels for you to see all of this work that does span a large period of time, kind of in the same space, not, tucked away in your studio, but out in the world, breathing and living.
Yeah, it feels really good. It's gratifying to see it all, that it survived this long. And I survived this long.
Yes.
And it is in conversation with itself. And that's important. When I'm not here, that it's doing something. It's alive. It has this energy about it that is, that transcends me.
Yes.
It's beyond me. That's been good.
So we talk about repetition, we talk about systems, and we talk about information. And I think naturally, as a Black artist, as speaking to another Black artist, it comes to me that, at least from my perspective, growing up as an untrained, uneducated artist, as it pertains to art history, I don't know. I couldn't think of many Black artists that have more abstracted practices, and I'm wondering now, after seeing your work, I'm like, it's actually the most perfect space to explore all of these questions of systems, information, data, and I'm wondering if your background, your history, your people's history, your ancestry, if that has occurred in your work, if those ideas have come up in your work, if those ideas are something beyond just existing as a Black person in this country, if you want to allow those things in, if you want to keep those things at bay, how does Blackness interact with your practice and ultimately the pieces you create?
Yeah, well, it's all in there, and I feel like the way that I came to using text and information in my work was through looking for representation of African American life and Black life and culture, and finding it in literature and music and food, and not so much in the visual representations that were available to me. I found those to be unrepresentative.
Right.
They were representing something else. So because I was finding it in literature, I just made a direct translation from text to text as image, and started with words and numbers, and then the counting came later. The counting came from a conversation about Moonblood in 1990, where I was in a workshop that was sort of meant to change our perspective on what was happening with our bodies, from something negative and an affliction to something that should be respected and honored, and is in fact responsible for how we go
Right.
to the world.
Yes. Yes.
Like, we would not be here if this wasn't happening.
Right.
So that changed the information from being external information to something related to me.
And something that you had control over, in the sense of not
Well, it was
the
given
actual
to me.
cycle, but like
Yeah.
you had control over how that information was presented.
Right. It was like a gift. It was like, my mother told me to write down the first and last day of each of my periods when I started, which
Right.
mothers do.
Right.
I actually did it.
Right.
People don't.
Right.
And
Right.
that information, that line of dates started me thinking about time in
Mhm.
a particular way.
Mhm.
And then everything else, all the other time explorations have come from that, like bodily time keeping. It's a system. Right?
Yes.
It's
Yes.
a
It is the system.
Right.
Well, I think that is a beautiful exploration of the body, of your body, of your like you said, what has been given to you. And I think that when I see your work, I was also thinking about how it seems to me that you're asking the same question kind of over and over again, and seeing if you can get a different answer, and seeing if you can get a new angle on how to view a set of information or a set of data or an experience. And I think that speaks to a lot of our experiences as Black people in this country of trying to square this weird circle that's been presented to us, and being like, hold on, wait, let me try that again.
And then it's also like I'm trying to do that.
Right.
It's not like we're like looking at it like, let's try to figure this out, where it's not really figure outable.
Right.
We're still game to try.
Yes.
Let's keep looking at this until it starts to make sense, if it's possible to
Yeah.
make sense at all.
And then like look what comes of it, right? That's where the beauty comes, and I think that's where that's the beauty that I find in your work, is the destruction of any information set that has been given to us. Information being experience, information being a misrepresentation, information being many different types of things that can be presented to us, and kind of reassembling it in a way that no one else could make this but you.
Trying to find some order.
Yes,
Yeah. In the chaos.
order and chaos.
So, I want to ask you about the title.
Yes.
It's the title of this painting also. Hyper Black Spectacle.
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
Well, Hyper Black Spectacle came from the idea behind kind of this body of work, which was to present the Black body in a different light, in a way that kind of stripped away the conventions and ideas that have been presented to us and to the world about what it means, what the Black body is, and what it means to be Black. I was thinking specifically about the possibility of, what if there was a pair of glasses that you could put on, that through which you could see the many different layers and the dynamic nature of the specific skin tone of Black people, and to bring to the fore the many dynamic layers of the existence. And I think that what I tried to do is to allow those things to exist in a space that was both still representationally, at least to my eye, representative of the Black body, but to see it in a way that perhaps lent a visual language to how we see each other. which is far beyond just our skin tone or the way our hair looks or our lips or our physical bodies, and to lend some visual language to the experience as well through the presentation of what the body looks like. So I think that's I want initially it was going to be infra black spectacle, but that was a little bit more difficult to say.
That's a different show.
Yeah,
That's another one.
but just the idea of infrared being a spectrum of light that we as humans can't see was the initial idea. But I think the hyper black, meaning extra black, meaning super black, I thought lent itself to the work as well. So that's where that came from.
Yeah, I love that. This work has a very internal feeling. And I just wonder how you feel about interiority and blackness.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, like, you know, my mother is white, and I grew up very aware of my race, aware of race and how it meant that I had to interact with the world. And I think for a long time when I was younger, I almost felt like I had to prove my blackness to everyone around me.
Were you in a community of black people?
I was in a community that there were a lot of black people and a lot of white people. So it was Ann Arbor, Michigan is a very interesting place because technically it is a diverse space, but if you went into the schools, you wouldn't know it. When I was there, the public schools had the highest achievement gap in the state. And so I think that a lot of my work as I've really just started in this world of painting has been an examination of my own experience and my own desire to reconcile this this existence in which the only people who are confused about my race are people who are not black. So I think that there's definitely an aspect of that exists in the work. And I also think that, like, there's an aspect of ancestry that I feel that I try to tap into, in the sense of when I'm painting images of other people, I'm certainly painting an image of myself too. And I think that is that's why it's so beautiful to live in an existence in which we are all connected in that sense, and also can conversely be why events like the George Floyd murder, or like the countless of other instances that have existed, that have happened in our lifetime and in our families' lifetimes, in the history of this country, why those things are so personally traumatic, is because we are all from this specific experience. And it doesn't matter that I don't know you, or we're not family, or whatever. We still, when you are in pain, I am in pain, because we have to be connected in that respect. So,
and it's a pain that seems to persist, that doesn't change.
No.
It seems like no matter what, it's very insistent on remaining there.
Yeah.
And there has been certainly lots of progress and lots of changes and lots of cultural shifts have taken place, but we still find ourselves.
The result is the same. Yeah, and I think that, like, I also try to be very conscious of the idea that I don't want to only render the images that bring forth that pain for other people, and I want to be conscious of not lying or skirting any issues, but also I think that it's just as valuable to have images of Black folks just existing as it is for us to like examine events like the Emmett Till murder as something that we need to talk about and not pretend doesn't exist. So that's a delicate balance that I think we all try to find.
Yeah, which that brings us back to kind of interiority.
Right.
Like that is, you seem to have a very rich interior life, and that you were willing to share
Yeah.
with the world, and that,
I spend a lot of time in my head for sure.
yeah. And I think that you haven't studied art per se, but you have studied psychology and you studied sociolinguistics,
Yeah.
which brings you to art making with a huge a warehouse of information
For sure.
that many artists just don't have. So,
Yeah.
so that's a fair trade. That
Yes.
you have plenty of education
Mm-hmm.
and you can work the art stuff.
Yeah.
Grab that as you go.